So today we discuss a competency about amino acids, the building blocks of all proteins in the body. Amino acids linked together covalently by peptide bonds, they form the basic structure. That is the basic structure of all proteins. Proteins, first or the foremost molecule, most abundant, most diverse, accounting for more than 50% of dry weight of the body. So in this class, we are going to study about the building blocks, that is amino acids, and their classification. Most common amino acids are a basic set of 20 amino acids. Although more than 3 amino acids are known in the body, these 20 are called primary or the second standard amino acid. They are DNA encoded. They are coded by genetic code. And this is the basic structure. Every amino acid has got a carboxyl group. Every amino acid has got a amino group. Acid group is carboxylate group. And then there is a variable R group. This varies from one amino acid to another. For example, the smallest amino acid is glycine, where this is R group is H. Then there are some others also. For example, glycine में हमने देखा H है. In alanine, it is methyl. Cysteine में CH2SH, serine, valine, etc. So the R group varies from one amino acid to another. Now, today we are going to study classification of the amino acid. There are 4 criteria for classification. The first one is based on polarity of the R group. So that is the first classification scheme. You can see here in alanine R group is this. Valine, it is this. Serine, CH2OH. Up some amino acids, they have got a terminal H group or terminal OH group. Such amino acids are called polar amino acid. Polar R group, these are polar amino acid. So anything, any R group is called polar if it has got free H or the free OH group. Have a look at the alanine. There is no free H or OH group. It is CH3. So it is a non-polar amino acid. Likewise, valine also, it is a non-polar. What about phenylalanine? We'll see later, it has got a benzene ring, 6-carbon ring. So it is a non-polar amino acid. If we attach a hydroxyl group here, then this becomes polar. And this amino acid is called tyrosine. So phenylalanine से tyrosine बनता है. This is non-polar and tyrosine is polar. So non-polar amino acid. Now you can see, I have given an example of alanine. You can see others also, leucine, isoleucine, valine. Just have a look at their R groups. They do not have any polar H or OH group. Okay, ये phenylalanine में हमने देखा था. It is non-polar, addition of OH will make it polar. Then it will be called tyrosine, OH becomes polar. So first classification scheme, there are 2 subcategories, polar and non-polar. और non-polar अभी हमने देखे, polar can be again subdivided in 3 subtypes. One, neutral. They do not have any charge. Second, these are called acidic amino acid. They have got a negative charge. They are actually dicarboxylate. इनका R group अगर आप देखिए, that contains a carboxylate group. The third one, which are basic amino acid, these are also diamino there are two amino groups, first amino group and the second amino group. So we finish with the first classification scheme that is based on polarity of the R group, and we have seen that they are polar and non-polar. Polar can again be subdivided in three types. Fill in the blanks, please. Second classification scheme is based on the structure of the functional group. तो सल्फर containing अभी हमने देखा था CH2SH. There is another one, methionine also. Serine हमने देखा था hydroxyl group. There is another threonine also. Aromatic group containing हमने अभी देखा था phenylalanine and tyrosine. There is another tryptophan also. Likewise, dicarboxylic अभी हमने देखे थे. They are aspartate and glutamate. Dibasic or the diamino. These are, we have seen, lysine, arginine. Then there is one amino acid, which is this proline. Now, proline, also called secondary amine, this is also called amino acid. It has got a cyclic R group. R group is part of a ring. So NH of the amino group of the amino acid is part of the ring. And then aliphatic non-polar. अभी हमने देखा था, and again going back to it, alanine, leucine, isoleucine, valine. They are all non-polar, and R group is aliphatic R group. So we finish with the second classification scheme also. Before we come to the third one, I must say that the same amino acid can find place in more than one group. अभी हमने देखा था tyrosine. Tyrosine के अंदर क्या था? There was a hydroxyl group at the aromatic ring. So this can also be called an aromatic amino acid. This can also be called a hydroxyl group containing amino acid. तो 20 amino acid का हमने बात की. We normally talk about that. They are genetically encoded 20 amino acid. But now 21st and 22nd amino acids are also known. Only important thing I want to tell you that they are genetically encoded. दोनों के देखिए codons हैं. And this selenocysteine resembles serine, but it contains selenium. And it is part of certain enzymes as given here, details you will see later on. So second classification scheme also over. First one based on polarity of the R group. Second one based on structure of the R group. The third one is based on ability of the body to synthesize amino acid, whether the body can synthesize the amino acid or not. If the body can synthesize, then that will be called non-essential. If the body cannot synthesize, it is called essential. Because body synthesize nahi kar sakti, therefore, dietary intake of such amino acids is essential. Non-essential, they can be synthesized. An important statement, synthesized in adequate quantities. Examples of both are given here. Two amino acids are semi-essential. They can be synthesized, but not in adequate quantities. We'll see more. अभी आप थोड़ा एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको दो तीन देना चाहूंगा. Non-essential amino acid. You see, alanine, non-essential, because it can be synthesized from pyruvate. There's a reaction called transamination reaction. This reaction is catalyzed by an enzyme you will study in detail, ALT, alanine transaminase, which synthesizes alanine from pyruvate. Oxaloacetate से aspartate बन सकता है by the same transamination reaction catalyzed by a different enzyme called AST, aspartate transaminase. These two enzymes will be very important for you. You will learn it very soon. Alpha ketoglutarate can form glutamate. Glutamate can be synthesized from अल्फा कीटो ग्लूटरेट. सो ग्लूटामेट से ग्लूटामीन बन सकता है. एस्पार्टेट से एस्पार्जीन बन सकता है. सो ऑल दीज अमाइनो एसिड्स आर नॉन एसेंशियल बिकॉज दे कैन बी synthesized in adequate quantities. Please note that the 3 letters abbreviations are written here. Alanine के बजाय ALA, aspartate ASP, glutamate GLU. These are well-known abbreviation, accepted abbreviation. Semi-essential, arginine and histidine. I'm going to tell you why arginine is called semi-essential, because it can be, by reversal of this reaction, it can be synthesized, arginine. It can be synthesized, but not in adequate amounts sometimes. For example, in a person of my age group or maybe a middle-aged man, arginine जितना synthesis होता है, that is sufficient for the body. But then you know about certain physiological states when the demand for arginine increases. For example, in puberty, in pregnancy, the demand increases. So that time, this endogenous synthesis from glutamate is not sufficient to meet the need of the body. So puberty, pregnancy में dietary intake becomes essential. So these amino acids are called semi-essential. I have told you about his arginine. Find about histidine, why it is called. So we have seen first, second, third classification scheme also we have seen. Last one we are going to see is based on the metabolic significance. There are 3 types. Some amino acids are called glucogenic. They can give rise to glucose. Ketogenic, they can give rise to ketone bodies. Let us see how and why. Now you people know that this is the central sequence, glycolysis, acetyl coenzyme A, and then TCA cycle. So we are talking about metabolic fate. An amino acid we discussed some time back, alanine. It can be, we found out, we discussed, can be synthesized from pyruvate by transamination reaction. ALT was enzyme. It is a reversible reaction. Reversible means alanine से pyruvate भी बन सकता है. Then you people know that pyruvate is substrate for glucose via gluconeogenesis. So alanine can generate glucose. So therefore it can be called glucogenic amino acid. Likewise, aspartate. We had seen aspartate एक TCA intermediate से बन सकता है. Reversal of the reaction, aspartate can form the TCA intermediate, oxaloacetate. And you people also know that all TCA intermediates are substrates for gluconeogenesis. They can all form glucose. So oxaloacetate can form glucose. So aspartate also becomes a glucogenic amino acid. What are ketogenic amino acids? Some amino acids, they form acetyl coenzyme A. So acetyl coenzyme A cannot form glucose, but it can form something called ketone bodies. So these amino acids will be called ketogenic amino acid. So leucine, lysine, they are ketogenic amino acid. Some amino acid can form acetyl coenzyme A, therefore ketogenic. They can also form a TCA intermediate. An example shown here in the next slide. Yeah. Phenylalanine. It can form a TCA intermediate fumarate. It can also form acetyl coenzyme A. So because it can form fumarate, it becomes glucogenic. Because it can form acetyl coenzyme A, it is ketogenic. So this is both glucogenic and ketogenic. So here some examples have been given. You will know more about them later on when you do biosynthesis of amino acid. अभी इतना ही काफी है. All right. So the key points, proteins are the most abundant macromolecules. Okay. 20 most common, they are called primary or standard. Rather now we can call them 22. They are coded by DNA and appear in protein. One more point which I purposely didn't tell you, only L amino acids are present in the body. The other types, T amino acids, they are present in certain bacterial cells, but they are not present in the humans. Then amino acids are classified based on polarity, structure, nutritional requirement, and metabolic fate. Structure we have just touched this time. In the very next class, which I'm going to upload very soon, we are going to study that R groups of some amino acids, they have got a definite role also apart from being part of the protein structure. For example, histidine. Histidine, it has got an R group, which is able to act as a buffer at the body pH. Cysteine, it has got sulfur-containing amino acid. It helps formation of cross-linking between the polypeptide chains. And I had said something, more than 300 amino acids are present in our body, but only 20 are called, or 22, because they are genetically encoded. Okay? So I think that's all. We'll continue with the structure, function of the functional group, function of the R groups. Thank you very much.